Good evening and welcome to Rewind. This is a look at the top stories of the day for February 17th.
Reporter Adam Murphy is first up with an exclusive interview with the father of a girl who shares a class with students who dressed up as Nazis in a Cobb County school.
And we're following up on a fire that happened last night under an Atlanta bridge. Find out what officials are doing about it. On CBS 46, shocking images. Students wearing a swastika and performing the Nazi victory salute.
And tonight, Cobb County school officials condemning the anti-Semitic imagery. The disturbing display happening at East Cobb Middle School.
The district says the students posted to social media during after-school hours. CBS 46's Adam Murphy live tonight talking exclusively to the father of a girl who shares a class with those students. Adam.
Good evening, Sean. The girl who spotted these images on social media is Jewish and found them to be very offensive. Her father tells me some of her 8th grade classmates are responsible and must be held accountable.
She saw this on her Snapchat, and before they disappeared, she was able to screenshot the photos.
Brad Epstein is appalled by these photographs that his daughter found on social media, which shows one of her fellow students at East Cobb Middle School posing for pictures while wearing a swastika on their sleeve.
So I think it really started a couple of weeks ago. In their class, they were reading a book where the backdrop is on the Holocaust. Several students felt that it was funny to make a few jokes about the Holocaust, which she addressed it. She also let the teacher know. The teacher addressed the entire class, saying this will not be tolerated. Fast forward a week or two, and we get images like this.
The anti-Semitic images were shared with members of the Chabad of Cobb synagogue near the school, causing Rabbi Silverman to speak out.
The images, of course, at first when you see them, there's a shock value, and it definitely is extremely disappointing and hurtful.
The rabbi said he has facilitated Jewish clubs in the area schools for 20 years and said 99% of the students are respectful of others.
Our response in general to darkness is more light. We need to look at an event like this and say, okay, how do we turn this into something positive, into something where something good comes from this?
The Cobb County School District responded to the incident saying, quote, several students after school made a very poor decision to display hateful and anti-Semitic imagery while recording themselves on social media. The students will be disciplined according to district policies, and we encourage parents to talk to their students about using social media responsibly.
I'm really looking for leadership from the school board. Unfortunately, I've not seen that.
Now, Epstein said he emailed the principal of the school as well as all of the board members and only heard back from one board member. He said that's just not acceptable. Now, Rabbi Silverman said it's time to have a deeper dialogue about these social media platforms and some of the hate often shared online. We're live in East Cobb tonight. Adam Murphy, CBS 46 News.
New developments tonight, another inferno raging under an Atlanta bridge. This fire shutting down Piedmont Road near Buckhead late last night. And today, CBS 46 had cameras rolling as police began clearing tents and trash from sites nearby. These are areas where homeless people often gather. But today's actions, only a temporary solution to an ongoing problem. CBS 46's Jamie Kennedy live from that site that was cleared out earlier today. Jamie.
Yeah, good evening, Rick. So city officials tell me that they understand homeless encampments like this can be dangerous areas and why they cleared out this one today and why they are looking for a more permanent solution.
We have to find kind of a permanent deterrent for the establishment of encampments.
Atlanta officials say they are working hard to find solutions for the homeless and the camps they set up.
Really take a holistic approach and try and support them, but also address the fact that these encampments can be dangerous.
City workers along with APD cleared 2 homeless camps in Buckhead along I-85 on Thursday, they say for safety reasons.
Public safety, a health issue, right? It's the conditions are unsanitary, especially in the colder months when you have fires being burned.
One of those fires again causing havoc on Wednesday night as firefighters battled a fire under a Buckhead bridge on Piedmont Road. started, officials say, by homeless people living underneath it. This marks the third bridge fire in the area in under a year. Thursday's clearing efforts not a direct result of Wednesday's bridge fire.
This has been in the works for a couple of weeks now.
Officials say discussions are ongoing about permanent solutions to the recurring homeless camps, which are largely on GDOT-owned land.
It has to be initiated by the property owner. And so, yes, I did reach out to, with an extra sense of urgency this morning, to the board member on the Georgia Department of Transportation.
Whilst also trying to figure out long-term plans to help those that live at the sites.
What we're hoping to do this time is really partner not just with the city resources, but with the nonprofit community that's doing a lot of great work here. It takes time, it takes persistent effort, and we just have to be patient.
APD tells me that this isn't the only clearing that they will be doing. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, we can expect them and city workers to be clearing more homeless encampments around the city area. Live in Buckhead, Jamie Kennedy, CBS 46 News.
Tonight, day 3 of testimony just wrapping up in the federal hate crimes trial for the man who killed Ahmaud Arbery. CBS 46's Haley Mason spent the day in the courtroom. She's live in Brunswick. Haley, what's the latest?
Sean, it's been a very emotional couple days inside that courtroom here in Brunswick. Jurors not only still processing, hearing a lot of racial slurs all day yesterday. Today, they're presented with very graphic autopsy photos as the medical examiner took the stand. One juror asked the court, does the federal government have resources to offer us counseling? The judge said yes.
Seems like every morning is the hard ones, right?
For a second day, the Department of Justice brought in witnesses to speak to apparent racist motivations behind the killing of Ahmaud Arbery.
I feel bad for my family, keep seeing all this devastating stuff that they did to my boy.
First on stand, Glenn County Officer Robert Rash testifying that multiple white residents and visitors in Satilla Shores had been known to commit crimes, from drugs to breaking into cars. Rash testified, however, that Greg McMichael only inquired about Arbery, despite seeing a white couple also enter the home under construction. Officer Rash said he sent this text to homeowner Larry English, suggesting he called Greg McMichael because McMichael had law enforcement training. Rash says he only thought McMichael would call police, not chase Arbery himself with a gun. Later, jurors watched video of William Roddy Bryan interviewing with police. He saw the McMichaels yelling after a running Arbery and decided to join in. He told officers, I figured he stole something or shot somebody. I didn't know what was going on. Later, GBI agent Jason Seacrest testified about this vanity plate, the Confederate flag, a part of the old Georgia state flag. It was on the front of the McMichaels truck in February when they chased down Arbery. Agent Seacrest says someone removed that Confederate plate by the time the GBI searched the McMichaels' home in May.
You know God gonna deal with them because you know you didn't have to do him like that.
And in the back of that truck, Seacrest testified that there was also a blue decal of the old Southern Confederate cross that was attached to a box that was on that truck. So just one more example that was not removed when the GBI showed up to investigate the McMichaels' home. There were initials GOB under that cross, but the investigator said he didn't know what that meant. Nonetheless, testimony will resume in the morning at 9 a.m. and this trial will go on next week. Reporting live outside the federal courthouse in Brunswick, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
New tonight, the formation of a new city in Cobb County, now up to the voters. Governor Brian Kemp just signed the East Cobb cityhood bill. It puts the proposed city on the ballot for the upcoming May election. If approved, the city would have a population of nearly 60,000 people. Supporters say it would give the area more local representation. This is the first of 4 cityhood bills in Cobb County to become law just this year. Vinings, Mableton, and Lost Mountain also seeking cityhood. Body camera video just released to CBS 46 shows the moments a suspect stabs a Sandy Springs officer several times, and there's a warning here. This video is graphic.
Hey, come on down, man. Come on down. Go!
You can see officers inside a house after responding to a home invasion. They try to get the suspect, Matthew Lands, down the stairs. When he comes down, though, he pulls out a knife and stabs an officer. Another officer shot and wounded Lands. Lands has since been linked to the double murder of an Ackworth couple. The good news here, the officer who was stabbed is already back at work.
New details tonight, and we have just learned a man killed near Centennial Olympic Park on Tuesday was a taxi driver. Police say the driver was dropping his passenger off at the Centennial Place Apartments, and that's when the passenger shot him and stole the taxi. Police say this is the taxi that was taken. It's still missing tonight, and investigators are asking for your help finding it.
We do have reason to believe that that taxi cab was abandoned by our suspect, and he is no longer in possession or occupancy of that vehicle at this point. However, we are asking for the public's help in locating that vehicle.
The taxi is a white Toyota van with National Cab Company signs and the taxi number 0343.
New at 6, putting teenagers to work, a program up for discussion by state lawmakers could get your students into the workforce at just 15 years old.
For students, it could mean no college debt, a secure job, and a 5-figure salary by high school graduation.
It could also be a solution to a worker shortage. CBS 46's Savannah Louie reports.
Maybe your first job as a teenager was working at an ice cream parlor or as a camp counselor, something very temporary. But supporters of this legislation say these new opportunities have the potential to launch students into a long-lasting career.
That would have been probably my first option.
Rodney Brock, getting his GED at Atlanta Technical College, says a new bill has him thinking, what if? A $1.2 million state apprenticeship program through the state's technical college system, exposing students as young as 15 years old to industries like manufacturing, construction, automotive, health, and cybersecurity.
I like kind of working hands-on, so to be able to be in the field of working, doing something that you potentially is going to go right into after you're done with your education is something that's interesting to me.
Students could earn $25,000 by high school graduation, along with a certificate from a technical college and a future at the company they've already spent years working for. Senator Brian Strickland is sponsoring the bill. He tells CBS 46 it'll be particularly helpful for rural areas where there are not a great deal of workers available or higher educational opportunities.
It is life-altering, and it's going to be such a fundamental building block.
The Georgia Association of Manufacturers says the program could bring new interest to industries hit hard by a worker shortage.
There's not one manufacturing company in Georgia today that's not seriously looking for talent.
Coweta County has a similar apprenticeship program where students must meet a handful of requirements, including good attendance and discipline, reliable transportation, and a parent who can attend an orientation meeting. It's unclear whether these statewide apprenticeships will share these requirements. Reporting from Atlanta, Fulton County, Savannah Louie, CBS 46 News.
New today, iconic entertainers of color are being cemented in history right here in Atlanta. The 2022 induction ceremony for the Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame was held on MLK Drive just outside of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Snoop Dogg, Tyler Perry, Mary J. Blige, Prince, and the late Ray Charles were among the year's inductees. Also inducted, Berry Gordy Jr., who founded Motown Records. We spoke to his daughter, singer-songwriter Rhonda Ross.
That he is documented and memorialized here is so exciting for me and my family.
I think it's just a beautiful way to let folks know, not just acknowledging the past, but inspiring the future.
This was just the second class of inductees following the creation of the Walk of Fame last year.
Restaurant opened once again. 9 months ago, the Dwarf House closed for major renovations.
Now it's back to slinging sandwiches and other things you can't find on a normal Chick-fil-A menu. CBS 46's Brooks Baptiste has the story.
Well, guys, customers had to wait for about 9 long months just to get back to the Chick-fil-A Dwarf House. But I got to tell you this, after more than 10 years of planning, $18 million of an investment, they can finally get back on the inside. It says it there, where we began. And yes, this is where it all started, talking about the Dwarf Grill 1946. But get this, guys, there are more than 2,000 photos of Chick-fil-A locations on this mosaic wall. An incredible sight to see indeed. And while we've been talking to some customers around here that have said that they've been coming here for decades, I'm talking about since the 60s, they say the food is still just as amazing, but there's something else that really speaks to them on the inside.
The new version is outstanding. There's no doubt about that. But what I like about it the most is they have taken some of the old and put it back in. And that's where we come from.
All right, so here we are at the iconic grill, because it wouldn't be a Dorf House without that, right? And as you can see, the customers are out here enjoying their meal. They're getting more than just your everyday chicken sandwich, because you don't really come to the Dorf House just to get a chicken sandwich. You usually get a lot of the other dishes, like your city ham breakfast platter. You're also getting maybe your 2-egg breakfast platter, your chicken and waffles, or even a burger. Yes, there are burgers here. There is more than chicken that is here. But look at these stools where the customers are sitting. 10 of those are actually from the original Dwarf Grill. So it's a pretty incredible site here, lots of different things here. And we're gonna come over here to this side, and I just wanna show you one more thing, because I'm telling you, there's so much history in this place. There are 15 of these little red iconic dwarf doors, and they all have a surprise on the inside. So if you ever get a chance to come on out here, that's something you'll definitely want to look out for. We're in Hapeville. I'm Brooks Baptiste, CBS 46 News.
Thank you, Fred. New details tonight on a shooting on I-75. Police identifying a man from Massachusetts as the victim in yesterday's shooting. He is recovering at the hospital as police search for the person who shot him in Cobb County. But his dog, who vanished after the shooting, has been found. Take a look. We're going to show you Susie in a moment. CBS 46's Zach Summers joining us live. And you spoke with the woman, Zach, who is now watching the dog until the owner makes a full recovery.
Yeah, we know the owner's in stable condition at an area hospital. We're told his wife flew down from Massachusetts this morning. They have yet to be reunited or meet the Good Samaritan who rescued their dog not too far from where we're standing here off Interstate 75 in Cherokee County. But you know, one can only imagine they're relieved she's in good hands.
Nobody was getting out to try to catch it.
When Sarah Weinching saw this little pup,
She was so scared.
who we now know is Susie, running up Interstate 75 Wednesday afternoon,
I ran after her. I followed her into traffic.
she knew she had to stop to help.
I didn't know if somebody had dumped her on the side of the road, if she had maybe escaped from somebody's house.
She didn't know at the time, but Susie actually ran off after her owner, a 42-year-old truck driver from Massachusetts, was shot several times by another driver in neighboring Cobb County just hours before.
Dogs can sense things that are not right.
Sarah learned of the frightening encounter after her friend sent her a post about Susie being missing. She contacted Cobb County Police this morning, who later confirmed Susie was the injured trucker's dog.
Honestly, a very sweet, well-behaved dog with a personality to boot.
For Sarah, it was a no-brainer to save Susie. She works for a large animal rescue and lost her dog to old age only 4 weeks ago.
A very loved part of our family, and the fact that, you know, 4 weeks ago I lost him, and then I see her on the side of the road.
Whether it was luck or something more divine,
Susie, come on.
Sarah says she's just happy she could help.
The fact that we can reunite her with her family is probably the most rewarding feeling in the world, knowing that there are people out there that love her.
And as for the shooting investigation itself, Cobb County Police have yet to release a motive, but they are asking anyone who may have seen anything or knows anything to give them a call. We're live in Cherokee County. Zach Summers, CBS 46 News.
Thanks for watching CBS 46 News. Watch us live wherever you are, our mobile and our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.